all over Nigeria. Please put your hands together for the party government in the house for being so thoughtful over time, for supporting and standing with us to this time. All right. On this note, I also recognize all our assistant governors in the house, all the past assistant governors in the house, all our irresistible president in the house. We recognize you. Please, can you put your hands together for these assistant leaders? They have been a major source of support to us. Thank you very much. And of course, may I beg on board our immediate past district governor, our own EIBG as a mother of traits. Past district governor Ifeanyiwa Rita HSA. So please come on stage to help us recognize our own, the trustee, Ijoma Pierre Okoro. Put your hands together for our please.
Thank you very much. Our trustee, foundation trustee chairman, Maloney, welcome you, sir. Okay, Maloney, welcome you. You're welcome. I want to also recognize the presence of our past Rotary International Vice President, Inka Babalola. Welcome you. Our governors, Governor Kayode, Governor Wole, and Governor Femi. I greet you with your amiable spouses. Welcome to this very august occasion. The chairman of the planning committee, DDG Victor, I welcome you. Future governors, DGE, Henry Akinyele, DGE Larry, and our chairman for Nigerian National Polio Plus Committee, our AKS PDG Hassan. You're all welcome. I want to also welcome the spouse of our amiable spouse for our past Rotary International Vice President. We welcome you. Our AKS Jide and Kerry Dolu, you're welcome. Revered as district governors of the house, you're all very much welcome. Fellow Rotarians, guests, and friends of Rotary, we welcome you to this august location to say welcome. Oh, PDG Lupadeji, you're welcome, sir. And the country lead for Rotary Health Community Challenge, PDG Balogo, I recognize you, you're welcome. All other protocols observed, please. I'd like to say, my job here is very simple, to introduce our patron queen, the trustee, to the foundation. You know, we have just her in Africa, she's our bride, she's our queen. We call her the fashion queen for the passion she has exhibited over the years when it comes to foundation issues. When you see her, you see foundation. And when you greet her, she talks foundation. She does not understand any other language, but giving, giving, and giving. And she has served in various capacities in Rotary, starting from when she became the district governor of her district, and she excelled in no small measures as a district governor. And since then, heaven has been, in fact, she has had no limit. She's been going up and now she's involved in polio, she's involved in different regional areas, and now at the echelon of her career in Rotary, she's a trustee. We are proud of her. Without wasting time, if I go into her CV to read the profile down the way it is, they will not be leaving this hall today. And I know that for once of time, I want to just let you know that we have a passion queen in the house, a lady we are so very proud of, anytime tea. And she's a role model to me, and I know a role model to so many other Rotarians, because we want to grow up to be like her. And I want to do one day to be representing Rotary in that international level, just the way she is doing today. And I know she's not let us down, and she's not never going to let us down. So we're watching your footsteps, and we're looking forward to be like you. Fellow Rotarian trustee chairman and his amiable spouse, governors and past district governors, permit me to introduce to you the lady of the moment, our passion queen, Trustee Ijoma Pierre Okoro. Please. Stand up, yes. Please welcome our Thank you very much. Thank you, Ify. At the rate you're going, I'll just be like a joke. You'll get far, far, far beyond whatever you think. Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. Thank you, Matilda and Yetunde. Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. Thank you. I am glad at first. I think probably that's why your voices are not high. It's like you've been kept here for long. Probably you didn't follow the program as it is. My job is simple to welcome you all as you welcome our own trustee chair, Maloney and beautiful Gay to Nigeria. Like you know, they've been here for 4 days, been in Abuja, and this is the second leg of our visit to Nigeria. I am hoping we are going to, yes, it's falling on a weekend, but I'm hoping it's going to be a great time. I want to thank the district governors, especially their spouses, because it's been a whole lot of time in and out of the house. So I recognize all the district governor spouses here, and indeed all the spouses that are here. Because we all do, both the male and female spouses, we all need all this kind of support, especially when you so much away from home. This afternoon is going to be an interaction with our trustee chair. You do call sometimes some send messages to ask questions, but please, our trustee chair is here. Ask all the questions. If there are burning issues, feel free to ask. And I promise you, you're going to get all the answers. I'm very excited that the 3 coordinators for our main program, at least for now, are in this house. PDG Joshua for Nigerian National Polio Plus Committee, very defatigable. PDG Joshua, please stand up and let them clap, a clap that is higher than yourself. Let them clap for him, please. Give him a clap, please. Thank you. PDG Taylor Balogo. Yeah. Yeah, you're going to be hearing from him. These are also part of the questions I want you to ask. And PDG Lufadeju. Thank you so much. So these are people who handling our various programs. Do hope you ask them questions. PDG Victor Onukua, PDG Agency, and PDG Andy Wedding. You've actually got a very beautiful program. Are you in this hall? Chair and vice chairs, can you stand up? These gentlemen and ladies have committed their time, their personal resources to ensure that the 40-man woman, according to Chairman Man, are we too tough? Are we so difficult to plan for? Why 40 people? Chairman, there are more than 40. There are really more than 40. We just bring it down so that you don't get scared. But please, thank you to all the committee chairs that have been working. Thank you, the press people, you are here. I'm sure our news are going viral. Rotaractors here. Please, can you stand up and make a very wild dance? Thank you so much for the vibes you bring to the Rotary Foundation. I'm excited. Giving to the foundation, I'm excited. You are also taking for the foundation, and I'm excited that you're here. Thank you, fellow Rotarians, and I'm sure that in a little while we'll be off and running to the main business of the day. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you so much. And we put that together well at that, please. Thank you so much. You deserve so much. Thank you. We appreciate you. Our passion point. We see you and we smile always. Thank you for all what you do. All right. Without much ado, distinguished Rotarians, leaders, permit me to recognize a royal father in the house. Permit me to recognize His Royal Highness Oba Kolawole Dominic, the only Moji of the Moji land, Kwara State, District 9126. Happy to see you. Thank you so much for being part of this session. We appreciate you, sir. All right. On this note, may I bring on stage our own organizing committee chairman, Past District Governor Victor C. Onukoga. Put your hands together for him and step forward to give us his remarks briefly. Please keep clapping until you get there. Thank you, Chair. We appreciate you. Thank you for the sacrifice of so far.
All the protocols have been established properly. Let me still recognize our hosts, our past Rotary International President and Trustee Chair of the Rotary Foundation, Maloney and the spouse, Maloney. They are welcome to Nigeria. Welcome to Lagos. But already welcome here. It's something to say that the trustee in Java Pearl, Iwante Okoro. Yeah, welcome to Lagos. That is common between me and Chide is that we are old boys of Patagona. We serve under him. Chide was the vice president. He was the president. Me and Chide were the district governors of various districts. So that good. But everything has been said. We have worked all around the globe to ensure that we put this in place. It's a national program. It's not just a Lagos program or Abuja program, but it has two legs. The last leg was completed last night in Abuja with the gala night. We are here. Well, we started very well. We are going to conclude tomorrow. Here, our procedure will now proceed. Yeah. So after the town hall meeting, tomorrow event going to announce the major one will be the gala night. Like the procedure says, you are now seeing Rotary Foundation live. That's what the question. And the ground rule is that it's an interactive session. There are the questions and answers. The trustee chair has part the speech. Feel free to ask a question. But this event should not last for more than an hour. Thank you for your patience. God have ended. We are starting now. Thank you for being there for us. And God bless.
Can we put our hands together for that for the organizing chair? Thank you so much. We appreciate you, sir. And thank you for begging us for our patience. It's important. All right. We'll make this very fast. We're going to be moving at the speed of light, which actually utilizes a whole lot of time. And we'll go straight into the goodwill messages. And of course, we'll be starting with our district governors. And to start with our district governor for Rotary International District 9111, Rotary Dr. Odowole Kukoyi, will be giving us a speech shortly as a good message. Please jam your hands together. It is very good for your health to clap. The doctors are professional. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. We all know that time is fast spent. We don't want to waste more time. On behalf of District 9111, I want to welcome guests again, Mark today and again, yesterday, Maloney, to this very important occasion. Our district is one that believes so much in Rotary Foundation, in contribution to Rotary Foundation, and it's on record that in this district we have produced 5 AKS, Yes. 45, 47 major donors, 2,368 volunteers held. Of course, we have quite a number of factors. But I think we have just one big West Society member. And I want to especially recognize immediate past district governor, Motunde Lawson,
I think so, you know. So tell you and the okay. Any other person? Okay. What if they plot?
I also want to welcome you to the international number 1, 2, the long which I give upon before please we are very significant around media, so around the foundation, and also the participation and move forward to having more opportunities. And on behalf of all of thank you very much.
It's put your hands together for that long. If you don't know what the next one is. Clearly, I will continue to support all the programs of which you are doing, particularly this one and great advantage means thank you. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you. For telling me the district governor for Rotary International Regional. Thank you. We appreciate you. All right. We are going to be very fast to save our time as much as we can. But we will to the extent of laying out the foundation chair for the two districts. May I invite our pastor to take up now or party job. To please step on stage to give us the long witnesses as the foundation chair for Rotary International Leadership 9111. Please put out the way. Thank you.
Welcome to Trustee Chair Tunde Maloney and again Maloney. Happy to see you again. I think I saw you last in during our meeting of which I was the secretary. Thank you very much for being here. I want to be for passion. Trustee Yoma, I recognize you for giving me popularity and eyes are not seen too well. And Pastor Vice President, I recognize you. You can't run the land is very able spouse. All that is the for keeping and recognize all of you on the future of Rotary. I think the best to make sure that we get very loud for one speech to recognize Rotarians and Rotary power. Very good. When I'm working on the trustee chair, it's only important, it's only very necessary to let you know that District 9111 started the year where we are doing what we know how to do. Dr. Olekukoyo has given you some updates on where we are, the Rotary Foundation. The year started, we know that half of the year is gone. We want to assure you that this 9111 we still do the usual thing. We have told you the number of major donors we have, 37. AQS, only 1, AKS, 5. It might be necessary to let you know who the AKS are. Kensington, Adebukola Adebutu, and the wife of Ola Adebutu are the first one we have in this district. We have Augustine Ojudepu Oguru, and the spouse, Victoria Oguru, 2 AKS members. Third AKS member is Michael Odawale Cole and Ademola Odawale Cole, PDG, a very distinguished Rotarian. And we have number 4, Bamidele Chris Onolaja, and Tolulope Olufade Onolaja, and the Pope, the that group of NPA Rotarians. We have the last but not the least, Narambal Popaidi Patel and his amiable spouse. We lost PDP and PDP Patel some years ago. These are the 5 APS members we have in this so far for this Rotary year, we have been able to gather in a total of $131,477.75 US dollars. We are looking forward, we want to do more. Yeah. And surely at the end of the Rotary year, we will have done what we know how to do this. Once again, I welcome you and thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Can we put that together one more time for PDG? Thank you very much. We appreciate you, sir. All right. On this note, may I bring on board the Foundation Chair for Rotary International District 9112, our very own Rotarian, TK Akebe AKS. Put your hands together one more time. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Anybody knows what aloha means? So you come to me and those who are this is Trustee Chair to understand what aloha means. I give you that as an assignment. Fellow Rotarians, Trustee Chair, I want to report to you that fortunately, the exchange rates has collapsed in the last couple of years. I've made foundational contribution to the window. I can tell you that even the announcement that you were coming spiked up the donation rates. When I was at the district office, yesterday, we were checking. Officially, we've had $27,000. The additional since the announcement of your visit was made. Maybe you should be coming here more often. The contributions more. Now, talking about the specifics, we have 23 new partners fellows this year, an all-time number of 2,410. Also, the number of major donors, 6 of them this Rotary year itself. Like I said, the total amount that was coming in this Rotary year was 127,000 officially by Rotary. But as at yesterday, was 58,000. So some are still yet to be reported on by Rotary. So the set of contribution is quite good. We look to weather the storm of the exchange rate collapse that has gone, but I can promise you that this year will be quite exceptional with you at the Rotary Foundation Trustee Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Can I put your hands together for PDG Jide Akeredolu AKS? Can we put your hands together? Thank you so much, Brother Rotary. All right. Without much ado, we'll go straight into the main business of the day. May I invite our passion queen, Rotarian Ted Ijoma Okoro, the Rotary Foundation Trustee for 2024 to 2028, to please come forward to introduce our special and August visitor in January 2025. Thank you so much.
Fellow Rotarians, indeed it gives me great pleasure to welcome home a great Rotarian, a past Rotary International President. But I think you actually need to know that our trustee chair, Mark Maloney, is not just the trustee chair of the Rotary Foundation. He actually loves the Rotary Foundation. It's one thing to have a role, it's also one thing to believe in the role and to live the role. This is a man that believes in the Rotary Foundation, that believes that the world will get better through the donations of the Rotary Foundation. He goes out of his way through country. Those of you that follow him on the social media, we know that there is no country that the trustee chair will not transverse, just to appreciate our donors, encourage them, and of course, ask more people to also give. But he doesn't do that alone. He goes there with the support of another very amiable Rotarian who happens to be his spouse. They've been everywhere together. They are both attorneys. They work in the same law firm, have beautiful children, they have grandchildren, they love traveling, they adapt and adopt like Rotary. They eat foods of the people when they travel to countries. They easily fall in and behave like the people. Did I say that they wear the clothes of the people too? He served Rotary in various capacities, and they are givers to the Rotary Foundation, both as major donors, as for Harvey Society members, as Big Bird Society members, and recently they also have an endowment fund for the Rotary Foundation. Please, ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome the reason why we are here, the man of the moment, the man who promised that 2025 and 2025 will hit our goal for the endowment fund. We are just few dollars away, and I promise you, whether they like it or not, we're going to have a party in Calgary, and that celebration must go on. If you stand and make a resounding noise, I'll bring on stage Mark Daniel Tunde Maloney.
Hello.
He said,
So sit down the park. So sit down the park. He's a jolly good man. Oh, boy, he's a jolly good man. Look, boy, he's a jolly good man. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Ijeoma. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians, Rotary, and other members of the family of Rotary. Gay and I are delighted to be here in Lagos once again. I particularly want to thank Trustee Ijeoma Pearl Okoro for inviting me to come tonight, inviting us to come to Nigeria, and for helping to organize our visit. Also to my good friend, past Rotary International Vice President, at the time that I was president, Yinka Babalola, and everybody's amiable spouse today. Anyway, and his wife, Trustee, and the district governors. Make sure I get the names right. District Governor Wale from District 9, 1. Anyway. District Governor Femi from District 9, 1, 2. And District Governor Coyote from District 9, 1, 2, 6. All right, very good. Very good. Now, Gay, would you come forward just for a moment? Just for a moment. Just turn around. No, just right there. What do you think? Fabulous. Well, thank you to our aides, Bola and Linda Oyabade. You notice they're dressed the same way, and theirs fit just a little bit better than ours do, because they didn't have our measurements. They just took a guess. They did pretty well, actually. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Gay. Yinka's trying, but the photographer's in the way. Hello, photographer. Thank you. All right. Your personal press agent. Now, those of you who were in Abuja, you can look at your phones now, because some of this, you've heard a lot of this before. But I am not called Mark Tunde for nothing. This is my 5th visit to Nigeria. Back in October and November 1986, I spent 5 weeks leading a group study exchange team to District 9, 1, full stop. That was even before they added the zeros at the end. 911, full stop. Which at the time and since that time included Lagos and Ogun states. And I experienced not only Lagos and Papa and Epe and Festac Town, Badagry, Abeokuta, Ijebode, it took me a long time to learn how to say Ijebode. I kept wanting to say Ijebu Ode. And y'all just kind of. In Ijebode, I had one of the more interesting experiences. In Lagos, white people can be seen. When I visited in Ijebode, I was a novelty. I was taken by my hosts to the open air market. And here I am, the only white face in sight. Well, probably within miles. Well, except for the other team members who were at their homes. And as I walked through the market, there was this ripple, this ripple of whispers that went ahead of me. And, you know, it was like the gurgling stream, water flowing. And I may not have this word right, but I think the word is boilo, which means, I'm not sure that I'm saying it right, but anyway, which means white person. And they were, I mean, I was quite the attraction, you know. Anyway, four years later, in 1990, in July, I brought Gay back to Nigeria. Gay, of course, Gay was not with me for the exchange. This is only her fourth time in Nigeria. And I brought her back in 1990, and we spent a week with our host, past district governor, Babatunde Ajayi, known as Babs Ajayi. His photograph is probably somewhere in these buildings. But he was governor back in, I think, 83, 84, before the Rotaractors were born. And he hosted us here in Lagos, and then he took us to Kano. We stayed at the home of past, at that time, immediate past Rotary International Director, Jonathan Machiagbe. He finished his term on June 30th, and we were there in July. And then we got in a car, and we drove down the center of Nigeria. Zaria, Kaduna, Abuja. Think about Abuja in 1990. Not much there. However, the Transcorp Hilton that is there was the Nikon Noga Hilton back then. And we stayed one night there, and then on to Benin City, where we spent the night, and then to Wari. And Wari, I mean, I think it's Wari, not Owari. I mean, I think Wari, this is Wari, and we caught a flight back to Lagos. And the airport at Wari at that time, the road ran over the runway. So they had to drop a gate down whenever a plane landed or took off. And then it was 28 years before we were back to Nigeria. And in 2018, we were here for the Rotary Institute that was mentioned previously, convened by then Rotary International Director Yinka Babalola, and we visited this very facility and during that visit. And in June 2023, we had the sad duty to represent Rotary in Abuja at the funeral of Jonathan Machiagbe. And here we are in, what is it, January 2025? Yes, January 2025. So we have great connections with Nigeria. Who would have thought when Gay and I stayed in the home of Jonathan and Ade Machiagbe that just, well, 11 years later, he would call us up on the telephone and ask the two of us to be the aides for Jonathan and Ade during the almost 3 years of service as president, nominee, president, and president of Rotary International. Do you know that Jonathan was nominated for president on September 10, 2001? You know what happened the next day, 9/11. The members of the nominating committee from the United States, they all flew home that night, no problem, night of the 10th. All the international members who had to wait till the next day, the next morning to take flights, they ended up staying in Evanston for a week, waiting for flights back. And it was just the week after that that Jonathan called us, and our connection with Nigeria continues. So, this is the part where I establish my credentials, why you should like me, because, we have this connection with Nigeria. And, it's amazing. Rotary connects the world. Gosh, we ought to have a theme that says Rotary connects the world. Jide, what do you think? You think that'd be a good thing? A good thing? Victor, you think that'd be a good thing? Yes. And some of you haven't a clue, but that was the theme when I was president of Rotary International in 2019, 2020. But here, a couple from a small city of less than 60,000 people in Decatur, Alabama, have the opportunity to serve as the aides for the first and so far only president of Rotary International from the continent of Africa. Rotary connects the world. But I'm here to talk about the Rotary Foundation. And the Rotary Foundation is extremely well connected with Nigeria. Those of you who were at the press conference heard me say that in the last year, the Rotary Foundation has allocated $34 million to projects and activities in Nigeria, not including global grants and district grants. I will take that applause. Thank you. Of course, the lion's share of that is funding for polio eradication that we have granted to the World Health Organization and to UNICEF for polio activities in polio eradication activities in Nigeria. And then we have, with Professor Dolapo, together for healthy families in Nigeria. I think I've finally gotten that name right. $2 million. And then with Balogun, Rotary Healthy Community Challenge. See, I'm still working on that name. Another $9.7 million. Rotary service in the developed world. And therefore, I wish to salute all of the Rotarians and Rotaractors in this room and throughout the six districts of Nigeria for what they're doing in support of the Rotary Foundation and their program. And of course, these projects are for the betterment of those less fortunate than ourselves here in this country. And we're seeing great results with all of these programs, particularly these two programs that I've just mentioned. But we can't do it without the financial support of Rotarians and Rotaractors from around the world. This year, we are very focused on fund development within the Rotary Foundation. We've got the programs down, and we know what we're doing in those programs, whether it's Rotary Health and Communities Challenge, programs of scale, global grants, district grants, Rotary Peace Centers, disaster response grants, which are a big thing these days, or Polio Plus grants. We've got that in, but we must continue to support the Rotary Foundation financially. 8 years ago, in 2017, when there was a totally different group of trustees on the board of trustees, none of those trustees then are trustees now, they decided, let's increase our endowment fund and let's have it $2.025 billion by 2025. I don't think they thought it, but you know, that was easy for them to do because they weren't going to be around in 2025. Well, guess who the chair of the trustees and guess who the trustees from Africa are in 2025? They're here in the room with you, and we've got to get this done. And I'm happy to report that we have made great strides. I never thought I would say only in association with the number I'm about to say, but as of November 30th, we were only $130 million short of achieving our 2025 goal. And you may think, you are crazy, Mark. You're going to get $130 million in 7 months by, from November 30th to the end of June, the Calgary Convention. And I guarantee you, we're going to be counting to the very last minute at the Calgary Convention. But just 1 year before, we were $380 million short. From November 30, 2023 to November 30, 2024, the remaining, if you want to call it the deficit or the remaining amount to be achieved, increased by $250 million US. That's $250 million. Now, we've been fortunate. The financial markets have helped us, and the value of the assets that we already have in the endowment fund have increased without adding another dollar to it. But we have added significant dollars in terms of actual gifts and in terms of commitment. So I encourage your support of the endowment fund as you think about your giving to the foundation, particularly in these next 5 months before the Calgary Convention. Now, I can go on and on and on and on and on. But I'm gonna stop. And if there are any questions, I'll be happy to pass them on to the gentleman to answer. No, I would be happy to do my best to answer them. And if there are no questions, then we'll go to the bar or something. We'll go home. We'll go home. So I am happy. Thank you very much for your indulgence. Thank you for listening to me. Well, let's remember that the foundation is a key part of the magic of Rotary. The ones that are never trustee, sir. It's a fantastic thing they said. Thank you, sir. Please tell us, sir, before you go, we can put the money, but not a second. So that you can just conclusion of the station. You gotta say something. Just behind you. All right. The remaining time is. Yes, Maloney to place on stage. Let's get on. Okay, so we go there for making it ready. What's here? Each of them have no trustee, which is not of stage. Okay, just a minute now. Alright, so this is Lagos, Nigeria. That's so much very up the question you want to answer, you can question. And I'm sure that this. Yes, we'll take one this time. And just see outside. As much as we can. So we are going to do the counting. If you don't need your hand, then you get it later. So please, if you have it, can you do the part that I will do the counting?
When Mark talked about the privilege that he and I had to serve Jonathan Maggiaggi and Ade at their age, as they planned to be the first president and first lady from Africa. Mark and I had the front row seat, unlike anybody else in the world. And there are a couple of things that I'd like to pass on to you, because you are the group that will take that heritage forward, where we're not here. Also, nowadays, you hear the term, the family of Rotary. Jonathan Maggiaggi is the Rotary president that brought that phrase forward for Rotary International. And he had in mind, he shared with Mark and me, that he had in mind that Rotarians should be very conscious of those within what we think now is the family of Rotary. We should care not only for our Rotary members, we should care for their wives or husbands or spouses or partners. If someone passes away, their widow or widower, their family should be remembered. So I want to share that thought with you. The second thing is logo you should always remember. It is Leon and me. When Jonathan and I first saw the visual of that presidential thing, Mark and I were there.
What a privilege we have. And the first drawing of that theme, the hands, it has logo. If you haven't seen it, the logo of the film is over there. But the logo has two hands. And the hands, one larger, one smaller, and the hands are intended to be silent. So you don't know the race, you don't know man, woman, but you know that one is in the giving position and one is in the receiving position. And the first drawing had the hands like this, one higher and one lower. And Jonathan said, no, the hands should be equal. The giving and the receiving are equal. So that is the second thing, because we are one of the very, you and I, we're the only ones that were there. We're the only ones that can share that rich heritage with you. And how proudly he and Ade represented the country of Nigeria. One final memory. And many of you, the younger ones may not know, that Ade died just days before Jonathan became president. But she was involved as the president nominee and president-elect. And the scars that were given for that year, the first drawing of it was not. He said, no, it needs to look more African. It needs to have a squiggle on it. It had to have movement. And I have one more memory that I'm going to let you talk about the foundation. But the last memory is that for every district governor and their partner, Jonathan and Ade gave them what they call a movement with a fabric. It was designed for them. It was a fabric, and at Jonathan's service, there were governors there still wearing the movement of the fabric that was designed for their year. So I thank you for indulging me. Mark shared his memories and I shared mine. This is kind of a great period.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you sharing your thoughts. Thank you. Okay. Well, with the mistake, we're going to get those 5 questions to save on time. I know we have more. 5. So I'm going to start counting now. 1, 2. The last question. Thank you very much. Can you go forward? No personal space, just your name, your plan, and go straight to the point. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Rotary, actually, from Victoria East. 9112. My question is, you have heard about the challenges we are having, the economic challenges, and my club members, we want to contribute. And we have sort of so many things we are not speaking, but all kinds of things. But there are young Rotarians that unfortunately cannot even raise $100 in the extent that to do the donation they want to do, and they want to do donation. So my question is there anything the trustee thinking about how to mobilize or how to help us begin to think? And we don't want any charity. We want to donate to charity. So that we have, what is there anything that can help us begin to do more and to reach that Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do you want to take one by each, or you want to go straight?
I'll take one. Let's take one by each. Because if we go all 5, I'll forget what first. The Rotary Foundation. I grew up with the sense of philanthropy as being mainly giving to my church. I'm a Christian, that must be a church. And there was certainly, in my growing up, the obligation to donate to my church. And it took me a little while with respect to philanthropy for the Rotary Foundation to realize that no one in the leadership, maybe in the volunteer leadership, but no one in the professional staff expects that it's any Rotarian obligation to give. I mean, they may have a general sense of obligation, but it's not X% of your income. The Rotary Foundation is here to support the humanitarian activities of Rotary clubs and districts around the world. And we want to do it with the voluntary contributions of Rotarians from around the world. And just like in the Bible, in the New Testament, there's the reference to the widow's mite. If there's a young Rotarian who cannot contribute $100 to be a sustaining member or some larger amount, we are most grateful for whatever contribution is appropriate for that person. We don't want any Rotarian to feel that they are a second-class Rotarian because they cannot give at a certain level or because they choose not to give at all. So I'm not sure that I don't think the trustees are thinking of anything in particular to address the situation we talked about. However, that is the attitude corporately of the trustees of the Rotary Foundation and our fund development staff. The foundation is here from a fund development standpoint, not from a project standpoint, from a fund development standpoint. The foundation is here to help Rotarians fulfill their philanthropic goals as they see it and as they have the capacity to do it.
Thank you so much, sir. Hold on. Okay, sir. Please.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to say to you and to all of them, please, when you decide to give to the Rotary Foundation, give it now. Don't change it to value. It will excite you. $1 and 1,650 are not the same thing. One is 1,000, one is 1. I've noticed this with other African countries. Trying to change this thing by the able change. Even if you're big, doesn't it? Even if you're big, it means a lot of things. You keep using calculating. Meanwhile, you are made up your mind to keep. I was in Ghana, you didn't want to do. But when you want to mention the amount that I did, you hear something like 1 million. And they will come. Then I'll spend $1 to change the 1 million to $1. You can just use 1 million UGS. That is the Ghana money. Nigeria is not the only country with economic crisis. We need to hear it from the other countries, especially other African countries. We are trying to bear with the aid that are trying to be an output. I say, can you keep your car? Can we use the door so that you don't come to one phone? And I said, how much is your girl? And when I told her, it's so much money. She said it's not. And it was so much money because I was trying to change it to, convert it from dollar to naira. So please, think yourself, educate yourself. If in naira, stop trying to change it to dollar. Leave the conversion to the major gives the developing office. When you give everything, they will convert it. But excite yourself, just write the naira that you want and the next naira so that you don't have to. Thank you.
Thank you so much, thank you. Well said. Okay.
But, you know, in my Rotary Club, we don't have big givers. And we also have events to help raise money in the club. And we have some youngest members. And so one of the things I encourage the more senior Rotarians is to help lift up the younger Rotarians, the newer Rotarians in their giving. Maybe match your gift or whatever. But also remember that the Rotary Foundation, going back to Lindsay, the Rotary Foundation is not just the money. It's what the money does. And boy, does it do a lot in Nigeria. Remember that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Don't think about the money, you can have money first. Number two. We got number two. Check it out.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Constant Jaila from the Rotary. Yes, talking about the endowment fund. We know the Rotary International Trust might set a target to meet up for the 2025 endowment fund. Please, I want to know what's the funding gap or balance to meet up with the 2025 endowment fund. That's question number one. And for question number two, we know contracts has been elevated, and by virtue of that, we are qualified for global ground. However, there are processes and procedures to this thing. And I want to know how we can be assisted to start applying for global ground. Thank you.
So what was the first question? As of November 30th, we were $130 million short. I'm not listening. As of November 30th, just passed, we were $130 million away from the goal. I don't have the December 30th number yet, but I should have it any day now. And the second question was, who grants? Of course, Rotary.org is an excellent resource, but your district grant subcommittee chair should be very helpful in assisting a Rotary Club in formulating and assisting you in how to apply to a grant.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being my colleagues. But it's number three. Number three, yes. Consequences, benefits that you give. Number four, training. Okay. I guess that's the last question. I just want to ask Mark today a simple question. What legacy do you want to leave as a trustee once you leave the office?
I want us to achieve 2025 by 2025. The law. That was an easy one.
That's the picture. All right, so we'll carry on the management together. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ayodeji Phillips from the Rotary Club of Ikoyi. So please, my question is, how would you evaluate the Rotary Foundation over the past century?
Over the past century
period, the 100 years?
We have multiple considerations.
Well, I am very biased. I believe that the Rotary Foundation is the greatest charitable and humanitarian organization in the world.
Wow.
And in terms of our stewardship and our prudence with contributions, we have objective outside evaluations that support that. Because for the last 16 years, and that's not 100 years, but the last 16 years, we have received the highest rating from Charity Navigator, which is the United States watchdog entity. It's its own charity, and it evaluates charitable organizations, and we've received the 4-star rating, the highest rating from Charity Navigator for 16 years in a row. And some of those years we received a perfect score. Remember going to school and you wanted to get 98, wasn't good enough, you wanted 100. Well, there's a couple of years in there where we got a score of 90. So, but I'm not, remember, I'm biased. And there was one more question. Question number 5 is over here.
Yes, question number 5. Okay, she asked. Okay, I'm with it.
Okay, on our polio activities, we are going to where having spent over the last 5 years with a lot of beneficiaries with billions of dollars. But what next after polio for Rotary Foundation? Thank you.
What next after polio? The official position of Rotary International is that we do not consider yet what is the next corporate activity, or if there will be a corporate activity after polio eradication. The official policy established by the board of directors of Rotary International many years ago is that once we go 1 year without a wild polio virus case, then we will initiate an official process. But we are doing things that may lead us down a certain path. Programs of scale are bigger projects, bolder projects that have a greater impact. And if one of those is very successful, maybe that will be the project going forward. Our very first program of scale was good, because our very first program of scale was so successful that it became Rotary Healthy Communities Challenge. It was malaria-free family, well, and now it's expanding. And so I'm not gonna say what it will be. I'm not gonna say what I want it to be. I don't give a fuck. But I do think that programs of scale are testing ground for possible future corporate projects.
Well,
Thank you. That last question actually was like to eat up my mouth because I already called the program. I looked at the program and I noticed that I don't know whether it's an mission, but there are some things I want to be mentioned that we may not have all the time. So I will ask the people to please summarize the things that are here. You can give a phone number or website, they will get it on. In addition to what Trustee Chairman said, those of you that were looking out for, if you attended the photo session, where Vice President Jennifer Jones, and then address the hearing. President Jennifer was very specific because somebody they call also advocated. It is actually practice to keep asking after polio wellness. We have focused on including COVID. It is about our integrity. We've actually come out since 1985 to tell the world that we become the world that we are going to eradicate the world and why we come because of that. It's important our integrity is at stake. So when you have something that is standing like a government because of your integrity, the best thing to do is to remain focused. And that's what we want to encourage all of you to do. But you also need to know that polio is not the only thing you can do. And because we are addressing Nigeria, that's the thing why I want these three people just give us in 2 minutes. I know it's difficult, but please make it 2 minutes each. I'll start with Dr. Maloney because he's handling the latest vision of the program. He's moving, having completed challenge. Basically, no foundation. I know it's difficult to speak to 2 minutes, but it's important that I want to speak together and healthy family chapter. There is nothing because the problem is always pointing to the program, but I do not want any volunteer party. I will also have the challenge of the traditional follow to ask a voice why we need to stay focused until we end on the button. Thank you very much. Yeah. Good evening, fellow Rotarians. Good evening, fellow Rotarians. Are you tired? You are tired. All right, I have just 2 minutes. There is this new project. It's a pan-Nigerian project, and the foundation has not done a program like this before. And that is why I'm dressed in green. You are all familiar with the red color of polio, the blue color of the program of scale. This project is colored green. If the members of the country committee of the Rotary Healthy Communities Challenge, and they join me here so that you can get to know them and can ask questions from them after you there. This project is successful would be like the success of polio eradication program, and we make sure that polio does not return to our community because this program is all around providing healthy country. With healthy communities, we will not have polio tragedy. With healthy communities, there will be no more diarrhea, there will be no more. So this program is a program that everyone should understand what it's all about. Every Rotarian should understand what the project is all about. The program was launched just last October, or 3 months ago, and between that time and now, we have been able to put together a working plan. We've been able to put together a relationship with our implementing partner. This program has an implementing partner, and the program also has total. So please, we will be available to answer your question after this program. But please understand, this program will make sure that we have not wasted all that we have invested in polio, all that we have invested in IFHA. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
We didn't know how we are not allowed to the mandate of the program was created to reduce maternal mortality in Nigeria by 25%. And we are starting small, in small areas, to the Nasarawa, Ekiti, and FCT. Total 9 local items, and we started with 49 primary area centers. We started 3 years. The purpose to put in a small place, discover the methodology and procedure, and define a template that can be scaled. So that's the purpose. Already, I can assure you that scaling has started. Because from 49 primary healthcare centers that we started, it is now the scale that TRM is very primary care. The local government 7 have increased to almost about 11, and we are still scaling. And therefore, what we need to do is to reduce all the complicating factors that is leading to maternal death and endemic maternal death in the country. Postpartum memory, very important. Eclampsia, and all these programs important. And to prevent risky pregnancy, too many, and too good. So we are going out the entire district in Nigeria to do a wedding. We have done about 3. We have about 3 months to do, and we continue to certify Rotary. Because what we are planning, what we are looking for, is that these programs will scale all over the country, where we have coordinators who are part of the government. And we thank us for every component.
Thank you so much. Whatever the intention is, really so much fun. Well, which is that?
Okay, when the time is start, my 2 minutes will start. But before the start timing, I'd like to thank you and to remind you that we have 4 areas to focus to end COVID now. One is advocacy. We are doing well. Don't forget the politicians, traditional rulers, the local workers, and anyone that is important gatekeeper. It can even be a kidnapper that can give you access to somewhere else. You'll be shocked when you go to the field. They have to take permission from what you call misdemeanor to go to a place. Like if you don't give you that permission, forget it. No big man will do it. And all. The question was that we are not done yet. So whether you are doing anything, but we are doing well in creating awareness about teaching, about time board, media coverage, and everything we're doing. 3, fundraising. We're not going to, but
But in one case, we have clashes with district government, with clashes with president. You don't know that you can put your money in the Code Fund, annual fund, and 2025 endowment fund. Everybody thinks that you will put it in annual fund. Wrong. Decide to look for the all the money we need and all this thing, and we can get the 100 million from three gets and then we lend the 50 million. So it's very important. And the foundation have brought all sorts of ways to get that 50 million. The other one is Rotary engagement and field work. And like you said, there is fatigue. I don't know why. Is anyone here aware that we have started outbreak response in Lagos State, Nasarawa, and Police today? I have only one person during interview and interaction that my district protocol chair, and I was the only one, to my knowledge, that went to the field. Because the program here was detailed for children. They went to the field and went to not just the whole community before coming in. I was pulling the leg of one of my daughter, that now he has to wait instead of what he used to do and all that. But we don't even know because the leadership, the district governor, you senior regular don't think it is necessary. You have to lead up front and get this thing done. Another thing is that when you go to class and cook, you think that this photo club chairman is a joke. The whole thing that the photo club committee is a joke. It's not even thinking, those they appointed have no clue. You ask to be trained, you come here to train your folks here. Very sure to tell that. And those who train are back again and on their phone. Or going out and coming in and at the rate. But let me tell you, this thing that is going on when you call person right, they don't know who you are. It can come anywhere. If you are fond of eating cow meat, my brother will bring the car. They will stay here with you. They can bring it. After that, we're going to develop, we're going to put it at your back from nowhere. The strength are traits. And but now we're about to call AI. Not the television station, but the part of the same as the wineland. And they are total Zamfara, Kano, Akuna, and Kenya. And we form 8% of the world vaccine denied cases in 2024. But the record for the World War came down. The record for Nigeria, that's the part of them. He said, I can kill it if you want. We are not done yet. So get up there, it is their program. They have made a promise to the children of the womb. If you start, you will get shamed. We are going on our own body. So I wish you the best of luck. Come to the field and let's see what we can do.
Thank you so much, my chair. Thank you. Thank you. The next stage as the living on this note, a quick announcement. Tomorrow we're going to make the video right there. So basically, it's such a and then the very next tomorrow, which is the Ghana, at Madison here in January, starting at 6 p.m. Please, if I put in tickets, I will be tickets. If you learn, should have this still have some fun. Many guys are very good. Especially if you are especially you have the last big things and the good things. Students go out and thank you so much.
Okay, I'm trying to see those who are ready to go. Everybody talking is not ready to go. Okay, everybody is ready. Well, Mark, I just want to draw some information just for context.
This property that you are taking in now has been offered to be the Rotary Regional Office in Africa. That was part of the aspiration when this property was offered. And I know that aspiration has not been getting it. Our fellow Rotarians have not been getting it. I want to make that quickly. Because the thing is that when we got into some growth in Rotary, you don't submit matter what we think. So that is one. The second thing is people really are residents. Like you don't want let's go Rotary. I was privileged to be that board. Nigeria represents about 25% of Africa's population. But when it comes to Rotary, Rotary in Nigeria represents 38%. So we are doing much better than Africa. But we are not where we want to be. And despite the challenges of current year, I'm sure Rotarians from Nigeria will step up as we continue to fight the legislative requirements. It also interests me that an IJ, Trustee IJ can validate it. Nigeria contributes no less than 50% of donation to the Rotary Foundation from Africa. No less than 60%. Even when we say it's not the I think there was a recent report saying we need year one. Nigeria is the only of the top 15 winning countries in the world. That's what everything is talking about. And we have remained in the top 30 for more than 15 years of givers to the Rotary Foundation. I wanted you to understand, don't put in context where you are, and the story that goes around with it. And I thank you that thanks to Rotarians for what they are doing in Nigeria, both in terms of feeding and in terms of feeding. Thank you, Trustee IJ, for reinforcing that what we've been saying. Forget exchange rates. If your mind tells you, I want to give Rotary Foundation 100,000, give it. Just give it. Let me tell you a fact, something you will not think about. This is where you live. It's like you plant a seed. Imagine when you plant a seed of corn, what do you get back? You get corn. Every giver is rewarded in another way. So my question to you, would you rather give 100 naira and get another cost of 100 naira back from your creator? Or would you rather give the extra place and postpone for people? I think President is the one that give it. You see? So my fellow Rotarians, forget exchange rates to motivate you. I tell you, may recall when the exchange rate moved from 159 to 400 something. It has happened before, 6-7 years ago. Nigeria's contribution to the Rotary Foundation increased. Here, exchange rate. Rotarians not that. Rotarians want that. It's no matter what it is, in whatever currency your mind gives you. On behalf of our district governors, the trustee, IJ, the organizing committee led by Victor. We want to say thank you to Mark for being back home. And the man tells me that God will be, you will be back very important. You will know where you will have them. And to thank all of the fellow Rotarians, I want to compliment Mark, Sunday, and Kate, your story, your time, and meaning, and your commitment to continue to support the work of our Rotary Foundation. Rotaractors, you, what you need to do, you don't have to do this, then you have to work on the tips. You like I think you'll be from partner, thank you also. I think I'm very, very proud that you are one of the best people on this planet. You do not take. I didn't really Nigeria or Africa. On this planet, most started to the Rotary Foundation. Even before the group organization, you will do yourself. So therefore, they were once. Now, this is not how this program, but we like to do it all the time. Remember, if you were in front, I think you call it if you have a Rotary this group and they are in part of the character, let's start. This one, I think my role is this person by not have it. So we have to consider this transition. Thank you so much. Have a nice president. Thank you for the so much. Well, honest to us. Very nice. Okay, just the okay, so immediately after the how if you don't consider it. I've mandated on the American national request before the Nigerian. Thank you so much. That's for Thank you. The other way to access it was, let's start with the new system now. Yes. Yes. Please, which way I'm going, let's take this picture. Yeah. Yes. Please. We have to do 911, 911, 126. That's 6 kids. So it's not the second